Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the confusing language of corporate filings. And today we're going to look at first Guaranty Bankshares Inc. Their latest report dropped and it mostly tells us about their second quarter results from 2025, which sounds pretty standard, but sometimes you can find hidden gems or red flags in these kinds of releases. And we're here to find them for you. Before we dive into the actual numbers, if you like getting clear, no nonsense insights from SEC filings, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. Also, we have a fantastic community over on Discord where we break down these reports, even 40-25, which sounds pretty standard, but sometimes you can find hidden gems or red flags in these kinds of releases. And we're here to find them for you. Before we dive into the actual numbers, if you like getting clear, no nonsense insights from SE filings, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. Also, we have a fantastic community over on Discord where we break down these reports even further. The link is in the description below, so come join us. So what we've got here is essentially a press release from First Guaranty Bankshares Inc. announcing their financial results for the first half of 2025, specifically the 3 and 6 months that ended on June 30th of that year. This report, a Form 8K, generally signals that something material has happened with the company and they need to report it to the public right away. Now, as usual, the most interesting part of these filings are the actual financial numbers, which in this case are part of an attached press release. First Guaranty Bankshares operates in the financial sector, so it's important to see how they're doing in terms of their core business. The report is dated July 31, 2025, and it covers the period ending June 30, 2025. This means we're getting a snapshot of their performance right up to the end of the second quarter. The filing itself is pretty straightforward, mostly confirming the issuance of this press release. Registered under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, First Guaranty Bankshares Inc. is primarily listed on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC. The company is incorporated in Louisiana and their principal executive offices are located in Hammond. Their common stock trades under the ticker symbol FGBI and their preferred stock with a 6.75% dividend rate is traded under FGBIP. These details are standard for an 8K filing but give us a sense of the company's public trading profile. The core of this filing rests on Item 202, which deals with results of operations and financial condition. This is where the company officially tells us how they performed financially. They've released a press release that covers their financial results for the 3 and 6 months ended June 30, 2025. This press release, marked as Exhibit 99.1, is the main event. While the filing itself is brief, its purpose is to make that press release publicly available. The information within it is crucial for understanding the company's recent performance. It's important to note that the information in Exhibit 99.1 is typically not considered filed in the same way as the main report, meaning it doesn't automatically get incorporated into all their other filings unless they explicitly say so. Now, before we get into any specific numbers, it's standard practice for companies to include a section on forward-looking statements. This is a legal disclaimer, essentially saying that they might make statements about the future, and while they believe these predictions are reasonable, actual results could be different due to various factors. They also usually mention that they don't have an obligation to update these statements if things change, which is something to keep in mind when reading any company's projections. The report is signed by Eric J. Dosch, the Chief Financial Officer, which is the standard procedure for these types of filings. So let's talk about what's actually in that Exhibit 99.1. The press release itself, which details First Guaranty Bankshares' second quarter 2025 financial results. Unfortunately, the provided filing only includes the metadata for the press release itself and not the content of the press release, which would contain the actual financial tables and key numbers. So based solely on this document, we can't analyze specific revenue figures, earnings per share, or balance sheet items. However, what this Form 8K filing does confirm is the timing of the announcement and the nature of the information provided their financial results for the second quarter of 2025. Typically, these press releases will highlight key performance indicators. For a bank holding company like First Guaranty Bankshares, you'd usually see information on net interest income, provisions for loan losses, non-interest income, operating expenses, and of course net earnings. They would also likely report on their total assets, total loans, and total deposits, giving us a glimpse into the scale of their operations and their balance sheet strength. What we can infer is that the company felt these second quarter results were significant enough to warrant an immediate public disclosure via an 8K. This could be due to strong performance, significant changes, or perhaps just to fulfill their regular reporting obligations in a timely manner. Without the actual press release content, we are missing the critical data points needed for a deep dive into their financial health or to assess the story behind their performance. Normally, in situations like this, we'd be looking for year-over-year changes. For instance, did their net interest income, which is essentially the profit they make from lending money minus what they pay on deposits, go up or down compared to the same quarter in 24? A rise here would be positive, showing they're earning more from their core banking activities. Conversely, a drop could signal increased competition, higher funding costs, or a slowdown in lending. We'd also examine their provision for loan losses. This is an estimate a bank makes for loans that might not be repaid. If this number is increasing significantly, it could mean the bank is anticipating more defaults, which is a red flag for future profitability and asset quality. A decreasing provision might signal confidence in their loan portfolio. Non-interest income, which includes things like fees from services, wealth management, or trading, is another important area. Growth in this segment can show diversification and a reduced reliance on traditional lending income. But of course, earnings per share or EPS is often the headline number. This tells you how much profit the company made for each share of its stock. A higher EPS generally means the company is becoming more profitable on a per share basis. Given that this is a financial institution, we'd also look at their capital ratios like the Common Equity Tier 1 ratio, which indicates their financial strength and ability to absorb losses. Higher ratios are generally better, showing a cushion against unexpected problems. However, as I mentioned, the crucial financial tables and commentary are missing from this particular filing. This document just points to the existence of that information in the press release. To get the full picture, we would need to access Exhibit 99.1 directly. Now, looking at the structure of the filing and the fact that it's an 8K announcing financial results, it tells us that First Guaranty Bankshares is following the standard reporting procedures for publicly traded companies. The inclusion of the forward-looking statement section is a standard legal protection common across most corporate disclosures. Without the actual figures, it's hard to give a Warren Buffett-style analysis. We can't identify discrepancies between reported metrics and actual business health, connect financial performance to business strategy, or compare current figures against previous periods to identify meaningful trends. We are essentially looking at the cover of a book without being able to read the chapters inside. What we can say is that the company is active in the market and making public announcements regarding its performance. The fact that they've issued an 8K specifically for their quarterly results suggests that these results contain information that the company deems material to investors. In conclusion, this filing is a notification that First Guaranty Bankshares has released its second quarter 2025 financial results. While the filing itself does not contain the detailed financial data, it directs us to the press release where that information would be found. To provide a deeper analysis, we would need to examine the content of Exhibit 99 of has been made public. What's your take on companies releasing financial results through press releases that are then attached to SEC filings? Do you find it easy to get the information you need? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more corporate insights. Also, make sure to check out our Discord community linked in the description for more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next Decode.